Alert.
2 down, 1 to go. Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. Stellantis reaching a tentative contract deal with auto workers 6 full weeks into the union's targeted strike.
It's the best contract that we've ever had.
Employees told go back to work.
We've sacrificed a lot for being out here.
The strike now expanding against GM, the lone automaker without a tentative agreement.
This fight is our generation's defining moment.
13 Action News at 11 begins with our continuing coverage of the UAW strike. The end is now in sight after 44 days on the picket lines. Hello, welcome to Action News at 11. I'm Josh Krupp. The first details of that tentative agreement between the UAW and Stellantis unveiled tonight in a deal that follows a model set by Ford. UAW President Shawn Fain calling it historic.
They told us for years that the electric vehicle transition was a death sentence for good auto jobs in this country. We stood up and said no. With this agreement, we're proving them all wrong.
Among other things, the deal includes a 25% general wage increase over the next 4.5 years. Workers will get an 11% increase immediately once the deal is ratified. They will also get cost of living allowances. The union says Stellantis also is committed to doubling the workforce at Toledo machining plant in Perrysburg and has agreed to restart operations at an assembly plant in Belvidere, Illinois. It's been idled for 8 months. 14,000 UAW workers who were on strike against Stellantis told to get back to work tonight. 5,800 of them are in Toledo, and they have been on the picket line since this targeted strike began on September 15th. Tonight, 13 Action News reporter Lily Lowndes is live outside of the Toledo Jeep plant with those workers' reaction to this news. Lily?
That's right. After 44 days of striking, this is the first time that these gates have been empty. These UAW workers were here on day 1 of the strikes, but for now, UAW President Shawn Fain says they can go back to work.
I've been here since 1997. The tentative agreement that, Ford got and then obviously that we got is the most lucrative and I believe is the best contract that we've ever had.
Robert Vasquez is a strike captain here at the Toledo assembly plant. He told me he's happy with the deal Stellantis put forth and is ready to head back to the plant. Union leaders saying because the two sides reached a tentative deal, all striking Stellantis employees can go back to work while the ratification process unfolds.
Hey, we all want to get back to work.
Workers happy at the thought of going inside the plant instead of standing outside it, coming off the $500 a week strike pay and working for increased wages.
Stellantis was playing hardball. Stellantis had made buku bucks off us for years, and it's time we got a little bit of money back from them.
For some workers, like Tiara Kendig, benefits and securing a stable work environment are key factors in accepting a deal.
I don't want just a raise. I need something that provides something for my future. Everybody loves instant gratification, but I need to know that it's going to last.
Workers say it's been a long journey for those who have been here since day 1, and they hope that the new contract meets their needs.
We've sacrificed a lot for being out here. We were the first ones to go out, so I need to know that I stood out here for a reason.
UAW President Shawn Fain said that on November 2nd, leadership will decide whether to send that contract to the UAW's 43,000 Stellantis members, and Fain will host a Facebook live stream that same day to decide whether to let UAW workers know how the contract is going. But for now, those Jeep workers will return to the plant. Josh?
All right, Lily Lowndes, Toledo Jeep workers on the picket lines since day 1. Lily, thank you very much. Today, marking day 44 of this strike, we recently surpassed the length of the 2019 UAW strike against General Motors. That one ended up lasting for 40 days. It was the most significant strike to hit the U.S. auto industry since 1970. That is when 400,000 workers walked out against GM in a strike that lasted 67 days. Stellantis leaders out with a statement tonight confirming they have reached a tentative agreement. The company's COO thanking negotiators for all of their work over the course of the last 6+ weeks, saying, "We look forward to welcoming our 43,000 employees back to work and resuming operations." The UAW is ramping up pressure against General Motors tonight. The union expanded its strike to another GM facility Saturday, calling on workers to walk out of the Spring Hill manufacturing plant in Tennessee. GM now the lone automaker among the big three without a deal. GM says that plant produces the Cadillac XT5 and XT6, along with the new all-electric Lyriq and GMC Acadia. It employs nearly 4,000 people. GM saying in a brief statement tonight it's disappointed that the strike is expanding in light of progress made in negotiations. UAW Local 14 President Tony Toddy told us today he believes the union is close to reaching a deal with GM. He called the tentative agreements with Ford and Stellantis encouraging, but says the GM bargaining team is making sure members get the gains they need before reaching a deal. Meantime, more than 20,000 Ford employees are back at work after the union struck a tentative deal Wednesday with the company. The UAW National Council will vote whether to send the deal to members tomorrow night. After that, the union plans to hold informational meetings to answer questions about the proposal. Our coverage continues on 13abc.com and our free 13ABC News app. You can get it for free in your phone's app store. We'll send you new developments straight to your phone like we did today. Over to weather now with First Alert meteorologist Derek Witt. Man, it got chilly out there, and it got chilly fast, and now we're starting to see some rain move into the area.
Yeah, that rain just knocking on the door, moving into our viewing area, and chilly conditions going to be a big theme in that 7-day forecast. Rain not falling yet here in Toledo, but take a look at radar. You can see it is almost here. This heaviest rain starting to approach the Ohio-Indiana line. Light rain out in front of it into Defiance, Ottawa. Some of that may be evaporating before it reaches the ground, but is there a lot of moisture to go through Indiana? All that going to have to track through overnight, and we've got another batch on the way for Sunday night. Temperatures outside north of the state line, we've dropped into the 40s here in Toledo, still in the low 50s. That is the case for much of the viewing area, mid-50s down towards Findlay, Upper Sandusky, and Lima. We track those temperatures overnight into tomorrow. We'll drop into the mid-40s. A lot of rain expected during that time, but Sunday, showers going to be a little more scattered. We will have some dry times. We'll be timing them out on Predictor. We're going to have that latest model data. Overall, 2 batches of a lot of rain. The first one tonight, second one Sunday night. Then Halloween going to be chilly, followed by what may be the first snow of the season. We'll be talking about that, plus a calmer weather pattern later next week. All those details in a few minutes.
Legos of all shapes and all sizes invading Toledo. Coming up next, the first convention of its kind in the city. And what else is happening around town? And later, a 20-year-old secretary disappears on her way to work. Tips lead nowhere. Police believe something bad happened. Plus, police tonight recovering a car from a pond, discovering a body inside. It's the end of the season at America's Roller Coasters. We welcome you back here live on this Saturday. The final Halloween weekend's here as well. Last day is tomorrow. Let's check out what else is happening around town here on your weekend. The final weekend of October. And we start in Toledo, honoring somebody who gave back to their community so much. The ball field in Sleepy Hollow Park in Toledo now has a new name. The Jan Scotland Memorial Ball Field. Scotland was a longtime business owner, youth advocate, and former councilman. He died earlier this year. In 1996, he started the Sleepy Hollow Athletic League, coached it for 27 years. Toledo City Councilman John Hobbs says Scotland's goal was to teach young athletes teamwork, sportsmanlike conduct, and life lessons.
Today was a celebration of a great life. A great man named Jan Scotland, after a shooting of a youth, decided that it was time to give our youth something to do, to get their time occupied, to give them something to keep them out of the streets, and show them how to put something else in their hand other than a gun.
Scotland died earlier this year at the age of 67. Elsewhere, Lego builds that can fit in the palm of your hand, all the way up to displays that are the size of a living room, taking over the Glass City Center in downtown Toledo this weekend. Today, the first day of the Toledo Brick Convention, where everything Lego is coming together. Some of the proceeds here will go to Creations for Charity, a nonprofit that gives kids around the world brand new Lego sets during the holidays. It continues tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and will close at 5 p.m. And your chance to see and hear the President's own United States Marine Band. The group, which has been around since 1798, is taking the stage at the Stranahan Theater tomorrow afternoon from 3 to 5. Tickets are free. You can find a link to get them on 13abc.com.
It's looking like this outside, some great fall color, but lots of changes in the weather pattern. We go from 79 yesterday to 27 Tuesday morning. Got to talk about a little snow as well on the other side of the break.
Plus, a Toledo woman vanishes without a trace. Years later, police believe she's dead. Re-examining the case of Cynthia Anderson.
This is 13 Action News at 11.
Findlay police say they found a body in a vehicle tonight that was submerged in a retention pond. This unfolded around 6 o'clock near I-75 and Interstate Court. People who called officers about this said they didn't actually see anybody inside, but whenever it was recovered, officials say they found a person dead in the driver's seat. Their name hasn't been released. 7 people hurt in a crash on I-75, including a 14-year-old who's in critical condition. Monroe County deputies say it happened at the Bay Creek Road overpass in Erie Township Friday night just after 7. Investigators telling us today it all started when a driver who wasn't paying attention rear-ended one car and hit multiple others. The other 6 people hurt are listed in stable condition. Deputies say that teen who was critically injured was not wearing a seatbelt. Today is the 25th National Drug Take-Back Day, held by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. Twice a year, police departments all across the country team up with the DEA to provide a safe way to dispose of unwanted, expired, or unused medication. The University of Toledo Police Department and the Pharmacy School today joining in on the efforts to keep unused medicine out of the community.
Well, so they're not throwing away meds in trash cans so anyone can get into them, like children, you know. And also just so people know that they have somewhere to go. It's not always that pharmacies allow big bags of medications, and usually people that come here have a lot of medications they want to dispose of.
The next Drug Take-Back Day is set for April. Turning now to this week's case files, it's the disappearance that has remained a mystery for more than 40 years. Cynthia Anderson went to work and then vanished, leaving her office as if she was simply stepping away. She never returned, and police are still trying to piece this puzzle together with the hopes of finding answers. Here's 13 Action News reporter Christina Williams.
August 4th, 1981, 20-year-old Cynthia Anderson went to work. She was a secretary for a law office in Toledo. That morning, she went into the office in the Manhattan Plaza. Multiple witnesses reported seeing her inside that morning, but then things take a turn.
They were able to talk to the mailman who said that he arrived there sometime between 10 and 10:15. The door was locked. He just stuck the mail in the door handle, which was something he normally didn't do, but there was no answer.
Around noon, an attorney returned from court and found the office locked and Cynthia gone.
They go in and Miss Anderson is not there. Her car's there, the air conditioner's on, everything looks like it should. There's nothing disturbed. One of the attorney's desks had been cleaned and straightened up as she would usually do. They initially thought that perhaps she had gone to lunch.
Cynthia never returned. A missing persons report was filed, but there was no indication of a struggle, and her car was left behind in the parking lot.
By all accounts, it was like a typical day. She would arrive, straighten up the desks. She would make a money drop, but she hadn't done that yet. There was no money missing. There was a small room that had a table in it that she would sit and maybe do makeup or something. There was some nail polish in there, like she had maybe thought about doing something, but nothing was disturbed at all.
It was as if Cynthia walked away.
She's a very special daughter. We're a very close-knit family.
Years went by, and police say they have reason to believe something bad happened.
How confident are you to say that you think she's not alive anymore?
Oh, very confident.
Investigators looked at the possibility of the Cook brothers, serial killers in Toledo, but they were ruled out. A possible link to a cartel in Wood County was another lead.
One of the attorneys was representing someone involved in that. Some tips came in that her disappearance had something to do with this, that perhaps she overheard some conversations that she shouldn't have, or she knew something that she shouldn't have.
43 years later, there's no physical evidence, and police have never found her body.
If her body was ever recovered, it may, something at the crime scene, something where the body's buried, would lend itself in helping to solve this crime.
Detective Bill Goodlett with the Toledo Police Department says within the past month, TPD assisted Perrysburg Township Police on a tip linked to Anderson's whereabouts, but the lead never materialized. After decades without answers, police are still working to follow tips to find out what happened to Cynthia Anderson. For this week's Case Files, Christina Williams, 13 Action News.
If you have any information about this case, you can call or text Crime Stoppers. And if you have an unsolved case that needs some attention, send us an email to casefiles@13abc.com.
Now, First Alert Weather with meteorologist Derek Witt.
It's Saturday night in Toledo, and we are now at peak fall color. Step outside the next few days. Enjoy it while you can, because the forecast calls for cooler temperatures next week and breezy conditions. That means those colors will begin to fade as we get into the final days of October and the first week of November. Lots of reds and oranges and yellows across the region. Can't see them though because it is nighttime. 51 degrees right now, east-northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. Dew point is at 43. That's an 8-degree difference. So initially that means some of the rain going to evaporate before it reaches the ground. But trust me, there is a lot of it on the way for tonight. You can see all that rain now tracking into our area, knocking on the door, stretches all the way back to the Mississippi River and even beyond. Check out Colorado, Nebraska, snow out that direction. That will be staying away from us, but the system that may bring us some snow next week, a Clipper system that's going to come all the way from Canada, that is still several days out. But we zoom in on northwest Ohio and southeast Michigan. Rain now beginning to fall west of 75, along and east of 75. Most of this likely not reaching the ground yet, but give it about a half hour at most. The rain will be falling, and you're going to hear it on the roof all night long, maybe heavy at times. Now, we go into Sunday morning. This is fresh model data showing may see a little bit of a break at times. Scattered showers, brief light showers for the first half of the day Sunday, but later in the afternoon into the dinner time hour, well, light rain moves back in overhead. It's going to be another steady rain, not as heavy as tonight, but it will continue through Sunday night, maybe locally heavy at times overnight. Lingering rain Monday morning, showers maybe towards 9-10. It's only about a 20-30% chance Monday morning. We'll be drying out for the afternoon, and even a little bit of sunshine showing up on Predictor. Now, rainfall amounts, this hasn't changed much. North of the state line, ½ inch of rain over the next 36 hours. To the south, 3/4 of an inch, up to 1 inch locally. When you get south of US 6, just a little more moisture that direction. So let's talk about it. The S word, not spooky season, snow in the forecast as we get into early next week. Tuesday, Halloween morning, going to start off with some sunshine, and it's going to be chilly and a little bit breezy as well, a spooky breeze, if you will. 5 o'clock, there's that Clipper system approaching the area, not in yet. So trick-or-treat time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. A close call for Toledo, likely dry to the east, but a few flurries, maybe a light rain shower, a little bit of snow moving in during the early evening. It's going to continue overnight. Some snow showers and a dusting of snow will be possible. Our model data over the last 24 hours showing increasing likelihood for just a little bit of snow to stick. It's maybe going to come down hard enough, but whatever does stick, going to melt quickly with warm ground temperatures and a lot of sunshine in the forecast for Wednesday. Now, today's almanac, 68, that's the official high temperature, but that was just after midnight. Temperatures were falling during the daytime hours today. We didn't get much past 60 and 0.07 of an inch of rain last night. Much more of that tonight into tomorrow. 46 that low temperature, steady rain, heavy at times overnight. Tomorrow, 50 for the high temperature, brief showers for most of the day, more steady rain later in the day into Sunday night. Here's your updated Halloween forecast. Looking cold and cloudy. Temperatures in the 30s during the evening, a breeze as well, so dress accordingly and be prepared for the possibility of a few flurries as October comes to an end and November begins. Before tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday night, all liquid precipitation ending Monday morning. Breeze picks up, continues into Tuesday. Halloween gonna be chilly this year, Josh. Bone chilling, 41 for a high temperature. But notice Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, 3 hard freezes. So even outside of the snow, it's gonna be feeling cold, feeling wintry. By the way, our first normal measurable snow happens on November 17th. That's the average date. That's still about 3 weeks from now. We'll have to see if we get enough snow Tuesday night to be measurable. We'll have to see if we get enough moisture.
Mother Nature dressing up like Father Winter here for this Halloween.
She's mixing it up this year. Last year, we'll have to check and see what she was doing.
It wouldn't surprise me also, before we go to break, if Christmas ends up being like 60 degrees. It's Toledo. You could get that.
Yeah.
High school soccer teams are one step closer to states. Highlights from district finals, no snow here, and the Buckeyes road test in Wisconsin. Next in sports, but first, your winning lottery numbers from your official lottery station, 13 ABC.
Now, BCSN on 13 Action News.
Tonight, many of us celebrating Halloween in costume, pretending to be somebody else. Ohio State is at Wisconsin, trying to show the nation they are exactly who they've been saying they are. A tenacious team defensively, a Big Ten title contender. Camp Randall at night, though, is spooky. Kyle McCord links up with Marvin Harrison Jr. in the second quarter, puts the Bucks up 10-0. It was not always that easy. McCord picked off over the middle. That happened twice tonight. OSU leads 10-3 at the break. Harrison Jr. and Travion Henderson put the team on their backs. They combined 330 yards and all 3 TDs between them. Henderson puts it away with 5 minutes to play. 24-10 Buckeyes. They are still unbeaten. High school football playoffs continue. The OHS FCA 8-man tournament. This is the first of its kind in Ohio. Toledo Christian taking on Danbury. Eagles already up 14-0 in the first. Jacob Michalski untouched, 33 yards, 21 zip after the first quarter. And this is just what he does. Second quarter, pouring it on. Michalski again, look at the patience. Breaks a few tackles, will not be denied, and neither will his team. 49-0 Eagles flying on to the championship against Holgate. District finals in high school soccer. St. Francis boys beat Perrysburg in the season opener. Jackets only lost. This will be somebody's last game. Scoreless early in the second half. A foot race to the box. Gavin Trent wins it for the Knights. Buries it in the back of the net. And one is all they need with Joel Neary in net. The freshman was strong. 3 straight district titles for St. Francis. The Knights advance to play the winner of this game, St. John's and Bowling Green. No score in the second. Jack Pelton and Quinn Winklet have something to say about that. Soft touch on the pass from Pelton. Winklet finds the empty net, 1-0. Plenty more where that came from. 3 unanswered goals. So the Titans advance to meet St. Francis Wednesday. Division III boys, Maumee Valley and Evergreen squaring off. The outcome up in the air early in the second half, just like this ball. Hawks trying to clear it off the goal line. Riley Dunbar puts it away for Evergreen. He scores the first 3 goals. And after this, it gets crazy. Just 1 minute later, Kashi Tomic weaves his way through the D for the Hawks. He'd score twice. The teams combined for 5 goals in an 8-minute stretch. Evergreen, though, outlasts Maumee Valley 5-3. They'll play Central Christian Wednesday. Also in D2, Liberty Benton beats Van Buren 4-0. Sorry, this is D3, rather. 2 goals by Garrett Nealis. Ottoville over Miller City on an own goal. They will meet Wednesday night. Maumee, on the girls' side, has had us on the edge of our seats this week, down to the wire again. Tied at 2 in the final 3 minutes. Charlie Bischoff scored once already, gets the free kick through, and that turns out to be the game winner. Best postseason run in Port Clinton history comes to an end. The Panthers moving on to play Rocky River Tuesday. In Division III, girls, Eastwood beats Woodmore 3-2 in OT. Delaney Zura nets the golden goal. Eagles advance to play Wayneville Tuesday in the regional semis. Ottawa Glandorf wins its 3rd straight title, 3-0. They'll play Riverdale. More news is coming your way next. Stay with us.
Josh, the first half of the weekend was dry. Second half, not so much. We're going to have some dry times in there Sunday. Just have to squeeze it in, watch that radar. And here we go, Tuesday night. The S word, snow.
We've put it off for so long. It's about time. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good night.